If you're applying for apartments and just not getting approved, this video is for you. I'm not a realtor myself. I spent the majority of 2025 going on apartment tours, speaking to realtors, speaking to landlords, putting in applications. It was a very long and draining process, but I'm glad I went through that process because now I'm able to let other people know what to expect, and hopefully this would improve your chances of getting an apartment yourself. So first we're going to talk about income. So a lot of people get upset when they see that they require 2.5 to 3 times the amount of rent. What they're basically trying to figure out is, can you afford this apartment? Is this apartment going to take your entire income? Is all your checks going to equal to the amount that the rent costs? These are all the things that they're trying to figure out, and which is why they ask you to have 2.5 times, 3 times the amount of rent that is required. So I've had an instance where I went to see an apartment and the landlord say, hey, let me see your monthly deposits. So let's say this apartment was going to cost $1,000. And let's say my monthly deposit was $500. Now they're like, okay, how are you going to afford to pay $1,000 a month if you're only bringing in $500 a month? So you can see why that would be a problem, right? So this is why a lot of people get rejected off the bat, because they do ask for bank statements, pay stubs, because they're trying to calculate the amount of money that you're bringing in monthly to see that you can afford to pay for this apartment. Next up is credit, and credit is a big factor in the rental game, and credit is the reason why most people get rejected for apartments, because lately they've been asking for 720 credit score. And listen, there's probably a small percentage of people with that credit score, let's be real. So credit is very important for them. So the best thing you can do is try to clean up your credit a little bit before you start applying. If you know your credit is like 500, they're not going to really want to work with you. They're going to ask you to have a guarantor, and your guarantor's credit score is going to have to be 720 plus, because they need someone reliable to rent this apartment to. One tip I can give you in terms of credit: some apartments are going to have a credit application fee. You do not have to pay that, because you can go online and acquire your own credit report for free. So if they say, hey, we're going to charge you $40 to check your credit, you can say, you don't need to do that because I already have my report, and you can send that report over to them. That report is free on annualcreditreport.com. Next up, and an important part of the process, is rental references. They're going to want to speak to a previous landlord because they want to see what kind of person you are and if you're going to be able to pay your rent on time. If you know you did not have a good relationship with your previous landlord, keep that in mind before you give them that information. And finally, they're going to want your documents. Have all your documents in order before you put in the application. Make sure you have your pay stubs. Make sure you have, like I said, your credit report. Make sure you have bank statements. They're going to ask for these documents, so make sure you have them before you apply, not after going and looking for them. And that's just going to hold up the process or just automatically get you denied. Very crucial step that most people skip, and that's following up. You send these people your information, you've told them you're interested, follow up, whether that's calling them, emailing them, texting them. You're not bothering these people. This is a transaction that's happening. If you want that unit, reach out and find out what's going on with this unit. Is it still available? And don't just sit there and wait for them to contact you. Remember, you're not the only person that's trying to get this apartment.